What's cooking, folks? Vermillion Phoenix here, and today we're jumping into some more Orcs must die Unchained. We are finishing off Cygnus's run today in the Eventide Fortress, the last map of survival in the game. And this one should go relatively simply, just because I've played this map quite a bit, and the path that I have defined for it is pretty straightforward. There's a couple of options you have here. One is to just sort of split the map in two and fight some of the guys going around here and the rest going into this area here, so that everything eventually winds up on this right side. Otherwise, you have to jump back and forth across the map and fight some of the guys as they come through here as well. It's a little bit tricky if you do it that way, if you have everybody wrap around, which is the alternate way that I used to do it, but that's a bit problematic because you have enemies over here that tend to ruin the barricade setup on the left side of the rift. This is your rift room. But splitting it usually makes everything a little bit safer, though you have to do a bit more legwork. And that means that faster characters are going to have a much easier time. That said, ballista are super nice here. There's a couple really choice places they can go. We're going to grab Feeling Fierce, and we're going to grab a fire discount because we will be using fire and physical traps. I'm going to drop that for a ceiling ballista. I would probably recommend using an arcane ballista on your first go through, and some floor spikes. The Great Wall Barricade is good here. You can do it without the Great Wall Barricade, but it'll cost you some trap space. Just need to be aware of your coin and how much you spend, and you should otherwise be all right. Let's go ahead and drop the Ring of Storms. We're going to keep the firewall bracers. Move those over here and grab a Mage's Clover. And with that, we should be good. Let's go ahead and get this fired up. All right.
My prune juice this morning. Look out.
All right. Looks like we're in. So you always start. You always start at the top. And this is sort of the tricky part. There's a few ways to do this, but you don't want the lanes to split too early, because splitting is a bit dangerous. It makes things more difficult for you. Making sure that everybody runs in the same direction, or at least gets shut down at relatively the same place, is really nice. Don't think you actually have the ability to place any traps out here, but you can always slow everybody down as they get in here. There's some Bernie bits down there. That's not where I wanted that. And this should actually be a pretty solid start. If you are pretty trusting in your ability to clear everything out, you don't have to put this barricade here, and you can place another slow or something down here, which would be a good idea. And then, of course, right behind it, you want to add another set of fire dealing traps. But for now, we're just going to leave things as is and get started. But we are going to want to eventually block off this side, just not the way I did it there. We're going to block that area over there and up here. And I did leave left the gate open. You have the ability to open this gate in advance. If you point your floor scorchers out of the gate, as I did, then you have the ability to burn enemies before they even get to the rest of your traps. So it's one of the reasons why I like using it here. In general, it's just a really nice trap. I haven't been advocating for people to use floor scorchers forever. Now is definitely the time. They also happen to flip smaller enemies into the air, which gives you the physics damage bonus, 4 times the damage, if anybody wanted to know. So it is extra nice. All right, we're gonna take Silver Streak. Let's get these guys finished off. All right.
Just like old times.
And that really should be just about everything.
Look smart for this.
All right, next wave, we're going to have to start moving things.
rift is opening. Destroy it.
And I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get to that in time, but I'm going to have to start running. We're going to see. I think Cygnus may be a bit too slow for that one.
Wonderful. Now I will be even better at killing things.
Yep, it's going to open.
The unstable rift was not destroyed. Enemy minions incoming.
Alright, so we're just going to set down the flames. Burn through these guys. And then we're going to head back up to the enemies dealing with the traps that we have placed at the top. They're all going to run back this way, so if you need to backtrack, then this is the way to do it. Now we need to sell everything that is in there. And then we're going to start repositioning stuff. We have a bit of money to start off the pathing, so first thing we're going to do is build this here. And then we're going to go over there and build another blockade.
Cannot do that.
Oh, build that a little bit closer. Okay. And then we need to sell all this. You can start the wave after you sell all of this stuff, because you're going to be able to place it in more beneficial sections if you already know what to build. If you're not too comfortable, don't worry about it. But this is basically where we want everything to go. This is where they'll try to go first.
They've broken through on another front.
And that's kind of okay. Now we don't even have to necessarily do anything here, but I like to make sure that everybody stays kind of close. And any enemies going to the left will kind of path right, which is fine. And we're going to add some more Bernie bits over here. Try to get this guy up. Alright, and that's going to double our damage. Now, there's a couple things I need to do over here that I have not done yet, and you'll see me do those in just a moment. And that's going to be get ourselves a Guardian over here. Alright, I'm going to use Paternal Instinct because that 20% or 2 extra seconds of 100% damage is quite a bit. And we have a new gate opening in about 2 waves, so we have to be a little bit mindful of our money. I'm going to use the Mage's Clover there, and then that guy gets himself murdered.
Right there. Good to be trapping again. They will not reach the ring.
Alright, for the most part, we're going to start saving our money here, but doing that and one of these should help out pretty significantly. And you can do this just as the decoy barricade for anything that you want to take a lot of damage. That unstable rift is close enough that we are not too worried about it, as long as I don't spend all of my time setting traps and not actually do what I need to. Just come over here and get rid of it. Okay. Alright, this dread is probably going to be taken down by what we have over here pretty easily. I probably need to move that back a bit, this barricade, just to make sure. Okay, there's some guys that are going to go into the rift. Those are gnolls, and the traps are going to wreck everything else, so I'm okay. I'm going to come through here just so I can take the gnolls out to make sure that I don't miss any money. Alright, and then we're going to have to deal with a new gate. Can I move this back? No, that's about as far back as I can place it, right? Can't do it back here. Oh, I can. May not make the difference that I want it to. So this one position will probably be a bit better if you had regular barricades, but not what we have going on here. Now, for this area, what I like to do is start here, do a barricade, and then turn one sideways. That prevents them from being able to go around, and you're safe. And you will want to open this up and get some scorchers pointed out this way.
Attacking on another front.
And that will help out. If you have the whoops, wrong button. If you have the firewall bracers and you're playing single player, they should be about enough damage to take out these guys without you really worrying about anything. However, even though you may be tempted to try to build this lane up, it's not a good idea yet.
They've destroyed our barricades.
Because you're going to need it for the gate that opens over on the left if you want to do the barricade setup that I will show you in just a few moments. Alright, so these should be the last guys. They're on fire. We're okay. Alright.
They will not pass.
I can actually start walking over here now. They did blow up one of our barricades. It's not too bad though. That one is just a little bit for pathing and some decoy shenanigans. Now we need to do this. We need to make sure we get this one tucked in the corner. It has to be touching this corner here. And then you see we have a perfect 2 area space to get the rest of that through. That's the barricade setup that we're going to use. We won't be able to kill most of the things that are coming through here, but you can make sure that they are taking damage. Slow down and hit one of these. These are mostly going to be heavy enemies, so you're really worried about just making sure that they take damage, and everything else over there should basically be safe. They're going to run into those ballista setups that we have at the end there. The guys that are jumping over my barricades over here should be grenadier gnolls. You can tell because they leap and they're yellow. If they were normal enemies that were meant to destroy barricades, as and they weren't archers, they would just blow up on the barricades. Archers, while they can blow the barricades up, they will kind of just run until they see an enemy and then try to do something about it. So as long as they jump over the barricades and they're yellow, you know they're grenadier gnolls. It's the only thing they can be, really. Okay, we're just gonna clean everything up from the tail end mostly. Okay. Couple of shots. All right, we gotta go in. Now remember, you do more damage near the rift.
Do you have any items or food?
Now I'm just gonna unchain though, just to be safe. I'll do enough combos to get that back shortly.
Watch out! Unaware, intruder.
And about right here is a good place for another one of these.
Goes there. No trespass.
All right, and that should really be it for the top section. We're not gonna have too much else come out of here and try to do anything crazy. One of the things that we can do if we want to deal more damage over time or slow down the amount of enemies that are just passing through here is we can do a couple of those, and we're gonna do something with that in a little bit. I just want to be a little safer. Oh. All right, gotta make sure they're not too close. All right, gonna grab Get Off His Lawn, which will give me a chain lightning of bonus 3 chains whenever I have a rift shard up. These look to be some more gnolls here, so we're gonna zap them for the cash. That's a lot of extra damage. Alright, so what I started out here, we can actually finish now. We have the coin for it without it being dangerous. Burn them, blow them, and then you can slow them again. Add fire at the beginning, and at the end. And we do something very similar over here. Whoops. Have to fix that when we get the next break.
You don't have that.
Many minions, one life.
Alright, now you do want to make sure you get to deal a good amount of damage to Lysander, just because he'll be rezzing. Whoa, almost caught me. If you don't deal with Lysander, he'll be rezzing the heavy fire ogres, which will wreck your barricades and do quite a lot of damage to everything else you have there. Thanks to the fire setup, it does a good amount of combos and lets me just sort of keep unchaining. We have a new set of enemies, and left gate's opening again, so we're gonna prepare to deal with that.
I do love traps.
Okay, and we're just gonna let that go and start coming back here. Now, you don't get a lot of trap space to deal with these guys, but most of them are just big health sponges. So their entire job is just, you know, to show up and make sure that you have to deal a lot of damage. So we're going to deal a lot of damage, but we're going to try to do it as cheaply as possible. And hopefully that gives us an edge on taking these guys out. Of course, every time you have trolls, if they're going to send out shield trolls, those are pretty much what's coming out first. Try to pick off whoever's behind the shields if you can, because even if the chain lightning goes into the shields, because of the way that the game's coded, if the shields are facing you, it'll block the attack. It's weird, but that's kind of how it goes. Alright, as long as we got our rift up, we can wreck these guys very easily. I'm a bit over level, so you're going to see way more damage than most people will be dealing, but still, like, getting that portal up as often as possible is a good way to maximize your damage output, and I would highly recommend doing that more often than I am. Okay, now we're getting ready for the last area to open up. We still have a good amount of coin. 6,000 is not a ton, but it's a very good amount to start building a new lane with. They're not going to give you anything too crazy when you start building, so that's nice.
An unstable rift is opening. It must be destroyed.
Good to be trapping again.
Okay, that unstable rift is in a location I can't get to quickly. I know where it is though. It's right here in the corner. Gonna toss some zaps in. There we go.
Done. The unstable rift has been destroyed.
So these guys are going to be coming down here at some point. We're going to do for them.
Just like old times. I do love traps. Perfect.
Our barricades are under attack.
I do love traps.
Is we're going to add some more spikes, and they're pretty much the last thing coming through, so we can sit over here, shoot them all in the back. If you have time, go ahead and summon your rift, and then you'll just zap them when they come through, and they will get wrecked pretty hard. Because of the unique position that we're in, if any shield ogres actually come through, or shield trolls, I'm sorry, shield trolls will be facing in the opposite direction because they have to turn, and they will just die because they can't block if they're facing the other way. Now, sell everything. Haven't put anything up yet. Alright, let's do 2 of these bad boys. Yep, because the boss is coming now. We're going to basically move everything over here, and then we're going to recreate what was on that side in just a moment. And we want another one of these.
The boss main has been taken down.
Quick, destroy it.
And that boss is wrecked because of all of the lovely traps that we were able to place, specifically the BGH ballista. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to be able to get up to that rift in time. Again, Cygnus is not the fastest character in the world, and that's rather unfortunate. But at the same time, I don't think whatever spawns out of here is going to be dangerous at all. It's going to have to come this way, though, because this is the only way that's open for them to go. Oh, wow, kobolds. Yep, they're just going to burn. Easy rift damage if you're not prepared, but the other lanes that we have set up are so good at doing their job that we really have nothing to worry about. Okay. Okay. Actually just going to use spikes here, because the enemies that'll be walking through don't really need to be slowed in that particular place. And for the rest of these, whoa, those are the wrong ballista. Entirely my fault.
Minion has entered the battlefield.
I meant to place a lot of regular ballista, but I placed, unfortunately, the BGH ballista. You don't need that much boss damage. 2 to 3 BGH ballistas are more than enough to handle just about any threat in the game, so 7 seems a bit excessive, even 5. And this basically baits 2 before so we can get wrecked. And then we can head back there while that guy's dying and go ahead and fix what we summoned down here. And this is probably quicker. Alright, so for the most part we should be done here.
Right there.
And we have 2 waves and about 2 minutes to finish them. My talking may have actually exacerbated this a bit. If I had moved things a bit more, probably be a bit quicker, but we still might be able to par this. The important part is actually getting over here and wiping these guys out as soon as possible. They are going to take the majority of your time. Set something up to burn them. If we can get this up, he wouldn't let us. Okay. Don't forget to use chain lightning.
This is harder than it looks, you know.
There's still one more. All right. We have a minute to finish this wave for par. Let's see if we can do it. I didn't even realize that there was a guardian run, I mean a mercenary running up at the top of the map. Alright, I believe these guys should basically be guaranteed to die. This is just going to be 2 mountain trolls. They're really slow though.
Now I will be even better at killing things.
Alright, and then we need everything at the top to die. If you have a teleportation ring, that can do you a lot better with moving around the map here. This is the situation that you run into if you're using a relatively slower character without a lot of speed boosts. And my pathing here didn't get me a lot of benefit from summoning more chaining chain lightning. An achievement unlocked. But without using speed boosts or speed pads from a stable hand, you can see how like having a lack of movement speed makes it very difficult to actually do anything with a larger map. And even the traps did significantly more damage than I do. I mean, they usually do a lot, but on this map, just because of the size of it, I would count way more on trap damage than I would heroes. Either way, that is going to be the end of Cygnus's Riftlord run. Excuse me. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this. This has actually been pretty fun. I've cleared all the maps, including the last ones added to the game with Cygnus now, and based on the votes and everything that have come through before, we're going to be moving into Tundra. And Tundra is a really fun character. He's got some weaknesses, mainly that he is a close range character. He only has 1 movement ability, but he has some very, very, very powerful crowd control that I don't think can really be underestimated, especially if you can create situations where you can really make the most of it. And that shines a lot when used right. But you guys will be able to see that when I make the next set of videos, and they're going to be starting soon. If you have any other things that you would like to see, feel free to let me know in the comments. Also, you can check out the community tab where you guys have given me ideas for polls and streams and things like that. And that's basically where we are going to be putting them in the future. Feel free to check that out. Also, the channel has memberships open now. If you guys would like to be a member of the channel, it's I think YouTube charges $4.99 for it. And they offer me some emotes that I can create for you guys. I still haven't finalized the ones that I have, but you get a badge, which is my channel icon right now, the phoenix flying through the night sky. But the more people that decide to become members, the more emotes you guys will eventually get, and you can use those in any of the YouTube gaming stream chats, which is nice. And you'll be seeing more streams from me periodically. I can't say when they'll be. Sometimes they'll be in the middle of the night, sometimes the early morning. And yeah, either way, you'll see more stuff coming from me in different ways than you have in the past. And hopefully I can expand on that and make it an interesting experience for everybody. The last few streams I had, I've really enjoyed, and so have the people that have come out to it. So hopefully we can make that a more regular thing. Either way, thanks again for being here, guys. I sincerely appreciate it. And until next time, as always, take care of yourselves and have a good one, folks.